It should come as no surprise that the American political stage has become a battleground in recent years, even as voter turnout rates have been plummeting. Political polarization is the root cause of this, and it has been on the rise in recent years, um, in part thanks to social media and pressures on the American people. You would think that social media makes people more open to the opposing view because it allows more exposure to it, but according to Lisa Argyle in her article Exposure to Opposing Views on Social Media in the National Academy of the Sciences, this is in fact the opposite case. Social media perpetuates echo chambers, which are threads or communities where people all share the exact same views. This allows them to reaffirm their views without ever having challenged them. In addition, the insularity helps cast judgment on people with other views without giving them any chance to speak for themselves. In fact, exposure to the opposing views on social media actually solidifies people's political views instead of weakening them. For example, a conservative who is shown liberal things on Twitter is more likely to double down on being conservative. In addition, trends like globalization and the treatment of current issues in the media increase polarization, according to the Sociological Quarterly in his article Political Moderation and Polarization. The capacity for information and human travel has put pressure on the American people. For example, the U.S.'s role in international relations is highly debated whether it should be international police or if it should focus resources on itself. Also, being able to view other countries' politicians in real time has put our politicians up to different standards. Also, newspapers treating things as clickbait to gather views has led to more extreme views over time, because newspapers tend to treat things in black and white a way in order to garner more views from the side it's pandering to. Issues like LGBT rights and abortion are treated as black and white, where anyone who disagrees is either wrong or stupid. Now that we've talked a little bit about political polarization, I would like to talk about its effects, namely voter frustration and voter apathy. Voter frustration comes from being unheard by political parties, which is usually felt by moderates. According to Mert Morrill in his article The Passive-Aggressive Voter in Political Research Quarterly, the greater the number of views represented by political parties and the greater number of political parties, the more people feel satisfied with their current political situation. Since America is kind of stuck with two very narrow political parties, people do not feel represented. And voter frustration is often expressed through invalid votes, which is voting for someone who cannot be reasonably elected, such as like Mickey Mouse. This gets the voters' feeling across, but also wastes the vote. So they're giving up their voice in the government in order to make a statement that may not even be heard by anybody. Third party is also an option to express frustration, but it is almost as bad as an invalid vote in our current system of first past the post elections. Also, nativism has become a very big issue since 2016, especially with slogans like build the wall and make America great again, doing nothing but increasing political polarization. Each side feels morally superior in that case, whereas one feels like it's defending America's unique culture from foreign invaders, and the other feels like it's casting doubt and it's just racist. And this also hurts voter frustration. Voter apathy, on the other hand, usually comes from the feeling that individual votes are worthless or there is no good party to vote for. Those who are not up to date on the news tend to be more apathetic and are less likely to vote. They might feel overwhelmed by the constant cycle of 24/7 breaking news, and they may not even go to the ballot on election day, which is worse than an invalid vote. Negativity in the media and in the actual political debates themselves tends to increase interest in politics. However, According to Yana Krupnikov's article, How Negativity Can Increase and Decrease Voter Turnout from Political Communications, it makes people feel less confident in their choice, and they are therefore much less likely to actually go out and vote. And so they become so apathetic that they do not vote thanks to the constant cycle of negativity. Overall, political polarization is an issue that has been put into a sort of positive feedback loop by both social media and the news, which in turn causes voter apathy and frustration. It is highly unlikely that this will stop soon, as it seems to be only ramping up.